and welcome to the After School Club with no school. We've got an exploration of how to be an artist. One of the ways. And one of the important things that an artist does is makes us look at things in a different way. Maybe it's painting people's faces blue. Maybe it's changing the shapes of things so they're all at angles. Maybe it's putting a shark in a tank of formaldehyde. I don't know. All sorts of different ways, and we start to think about things and look at things differently. Children are very good at that too. So you're going to be great at this exercise, which is looking at the spaces in between. In between the solid objects. So, for instance, I've got some objects here we could use to draw. What about this? This, what is it? Ah, yes, it's a music stand. It's a bit dusty. So it's got lots of triangles here. Yeah. That's your maths. Okay, triangles here and rectangle. Double maths. Okay. Spaces in between. This set of objects from the kitchen has lots of different shaped spaces in between. Can you see? The scissor handle. And then if I turn it round, you can see the spaces between these. Oh, there's a space here. Behind the masher. Over here. And coming round by the spatula. Here it's got lots of long rectangular spaces in it. Okay. You could use that. You could use a chair, the back of a chair, spaces in between sometimes. Or you could use a plant. I've got a nice plant here from the garden. Say hello, plant. Hello. Okay, it's a talking plant. So this, I'm going to use this as my example. And we're going to look at the spaces in between the leaves. It was a bit high. There you go. You can see a bit better now. Okay. So there's lots of wonderful spaces in between. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a little easel. We need a thin book. Doesn't have to be about pirates, but this one is. Here, some paper. Now it could be any paper. I've got some Christmas paper. You could use that. I've got some piece of paper here that was a bit of card, somebody had a picture on it, you could use that. Or some white paper, you could use that, or newspaper, or any type of paper really you have around. If you don't have any paper, don't worry, you can still do this exercise. I'll show you how to do it afterwards. Okay? Actually, everyone's going to do it with their finger first anyway. You'll just be extra good at it. So, some what are they? Clothes pegs. Clothes pegs. Well done. Got there quicker than me. 2 clothes pegs onto. Oh, that was tricky. Didn't rehearse that very well. Okay, there you go. It's on piece of paper on the book. So it's something hard to draw on, and we're going to hold it at right angles to our eyes. More maths. That, if we hold it too far flat, it means that the things over here can be a little bit smaller than things here, and it's a little bit awkward. The best way is to hold it nice and steady at 45 degrees, more or less. So you're looking down, and your eye line is hitting at 90 degrees. That was triple maths. Okay, and use any pencil you like, or pen. There's colour pencil, I've got green because it's a plant. Pencil, pen, biros, felt tip. I use felt tip. It's kind of one of those schooly pens. Anything you like. Okay, and stand a bit back, or sit a little bit back, so that you get a good look at things. My eyes aren't very good, so I can see that now, and I can look, and I'm going to do it with my finger and my arm outstretched, nice and stretched, arm outstretched. I'm going to trace round the shapes in between the leaves. So we're not putting our finger around the actual solidity of the leaf. We are putting our finger and finding and tracing the shapes of the spaces in between. So there's a teeny tiny triangle there, just like that. Just that shape. And then there's there's another teeny tiny triangle there. So really teeny tiny. And teeny tiny. Kind of little parallelogram over there as well. Oh, and that's kind of a wiggly sort of diamond shape. Okay, and we go through the plant and try and define the plant by the spaces in between. So what isn't the plant? Instead of drawing round the outside shape, we draw what isn't the plant. And this gets a bit tricky because behind this I've got a fan and a CD rack. We've still got CDs. And Kevin's old. And some of the wall and the corner and the ceiling. Okay, so that does get tricky, but you just decide, you say, I'll do the shape of the plant to the fan. And then from the fan around the CD rack and up to the ceiling. Okay? So instead of drawing just the box of the room, we're defining it by the spaces in between. And we can do that with our pen and our paper, or we can do that just with our finger, looking. I can carry on. Go around the pipe, down to the cymbal, round the cymbal, onto the fire, and down to the floor and round. Oh, stand. Okay, and there's the chair, and down, speaker, oh, and corner. So you can do this wherever you are. You can do it with a small object, or you can do it in the room where you are now. And when you go outside, you can look between the buildings and look at the spaces, not just the outline of the buildings, but the spaces between the buildings. Are they triangles? What angle do they go at? And you can trace them with your finger. So here's what I ended up drawing, because the plant had little teeny tiny spaces and my eyes aren't very good. But I found that this chair and music stand showed me lots of spaces in between. Here. And they were big bold spaces that I could see. Okay? And I didn't draw anything more under here because it was where the music stand was on top of the chair. So I decided not to do that. Nor did I do any more here on the table, down here, because the chair was on the table. And I defined my spaces between the chair and the wall behind. There you go. Have fun. See you next week. And do put your pictures down there.